Alright everybody, here we are, and let's just simply get going again. What are we gonna be doing next right now? That is this particular part. We have these many to do's and they are not small ones for sure. We have something called bounding box. That is when I click on an element, that element should be selected. But before even that, we need to have the selected element, right? So let's just simply get this thing implemented here. So right now what we are gonna do, first of all let me make sure that everything's up and running, and then we'll get started. Just a sec. And there are gonna be a few things. First of all, you will have to hit test. Like whenever you are clicking on the canvas somewhere, you will have to check whether you have clicked a shape or not, and on the basis of that thing you have to get the ID of that particular shape. As for right now, whenever mouse up happens, so we are saving the image with the ID. To check it, what I'll do, if I go to the, what should I go with, if I go to apps, web, and if I go to hooks, and inside hooks, what, just one hook, sorry, I have to go to features. Okay, the hooks of the components. I just got confused exactly where my hooks are gone. By the way, the hooks of the components. So if I go to hooks here, and especially if I talk about use shapes, where I'm actually storing all the shapes and all. So I'm just simply gonna log the value of the shapes over here, and we'll see what all we have in our shapes. Okay. So this is gonna be the shape section. Shapes. Exactly what all we are storing. So right now what I'm gonna do, that is going back here, and the shape is gonna be loaded right now. So as of right now, this shape is empty for sure. That's nothing but an array. If I draw this, alrighty, we have got one shape, and that's the rectangle shape. So we have the type rectangle, we have the height, we have the width, we have x, and we have y. This much we have it here. Even we do not have the color yet. Later we will be even having it. For now, let's go with this one. Okay. If we would talk about the diamond, so when it comes to the diamond section, so we have the type diamond, x, y, width, height. Again, the same sort of they have the same type of data. Let's talk about the circle here. So this is gonna be the circle over here. And when it comes to this circle, so we have circle, x, y, width, height. Again, all of them have the same, and you can just simply calculate the circle alone just using the same coordinates and all. Let's talk about ellipse. So in this section, this is the ellipse actually, and if we talk about ellipse, we have x, y, width, height. Most of the time, even if that is a circle, even if that is an ellipse, what I tried that using the width and the height, you can easily calculate the radius. So even if that is a circle, you can calculate the radius. The radius is gonna be half of the width or the height, right? If that is a circle. And in case of ellipse, you can calculate x radius and y radius. So using the width and height, both of the things are calculatable. They can be calculated easily. Alrighty, so let's talk about this arrow here. In this particular case, inside the arrow, we have x, we have y, we have points. These points are nothing but what? The distances. So 0, 0 distance, and then this much distance. So they are the relative distance, they are not the points actually. So from x and y, so the first point that I have, that is 0, 0 distance away from x and y. The second point that I have, that is this distance away from x. And now if I calculate, if I want to get the actual points, then I have to subtract this from x and this from this particular x, and then I'm gonna be getting the types. Ultimately, they are relative distances rather than being rather than being points. They are not the end points. Anyway, this is the same kind of data I have here. So we have the line, we have x, we have y, we have points. As simple as that. And the same thing is gonna happen here as well. So when it comes to this, so suppose I have this shape over here, and in this shape we have Frida, we have x, we have y, we have points. And there are how many points? We have 1302 points just for this particular shape. Again, they are the relative distance at the end of the day. So that's great, we have this. Apart from this particular thing, lastly we are gonna be having text. So if we just, I have text over here. So okay, so that is something we have to keep in our mind, that in text we are creating the id and we are storing the id, but in the remaining shapes, rectangle, diamond and all these things, I forgot to add the id. So that is something we have to fix first, so that next time onwards, whenever a shape is selected, at least we have a selected shape or shapes. On the basis of that thing, we are gonna be creating the bounding box. Again, how that's gonna be created, we will see. But first of all, we need to get the selected shape, and then we have to resize that, of course, and there's a lot of things. Okay, so this what text has the id, and it has other things and all, that's all right. And if I talk about the image, so if I just get the image over here, so this is the image. Even even image has the id, and it has the blob url that I just created. Later we are gonna be using Amazon S3. So even these to do's are not the enough, like they are not it, like there can be even many more things. So they are just overall picture, but at the end of the day, we even have to use S3 from AWS storage. So this particular thing is done. The first thing that we need to do, that rectangle, diamond, circle, all these things, they need to have the id. That simply means whenever point up happens, so use canvas drawing, and over here whenever pointer up happens, we are creating the image, we are creating the shape. When we are actually creating the shape, so we have tool, we have start point, end point, and we have the points. And after that, we are just simply creating these shapes. When we are creating these shapes over here, we need to have the id as well. So yeah, let's do one thing. It will even have the id. That id is gonna be UUID v4. I'm gonna be using over here. Of course, I need to import it. So every shape is gonna have the id, and that is different id. It's not like they are gonna be the same one. So as UUID v4 from UUID, just like this. This is the package that's already installed. So this will have the id, and similarly, diamond will have the id, and return circle type. Even circle will have the id, and ellipse will have the id. Create arrow shape, excuse me, even this will have the id. Line will also have the id, and free draw, it will also have the id. And create shape, it's just, the shape is just being created. So that is it. This was it that I wanted to do. Now what will happen, that if I just simply reload the page, and if I draw the circle, rectangle, so the rectangle that I get, that will be with the id. So this is the id that automatically got added to the rectangle. And if I draw two rectangles, the ids of them, that's gonna be different one. So if I draw another rectangle over here, and right now, of course, oh my god, literally, I think a lot of rendering is happening. We'll have to make sure that we'll have to optimize that. But for now, if you actually have a look at the IDs, they are completely different ones. Hence, using these IDs, we will be able to select a shape. We'll be able to see which particular what shape is selected, and then we'll be able to do whatever we want to do with that particular shape. Coming back to this particular thing is done. What is the next thing? Once the shape is selected, not selected, they just have the ID. Now what happens whenever I click, mouse click happens. So over here, whenever we just pointer down event get triggered, at that time we have to see if we actually clicked on a button. And event prevent default, mouse button, that is fine. And canvas capture pointer down true. And I think somewhere here even I have to get the start point. Once I got my start point, even I'm setting the start point, that is also fine. Probably here tools include selected tool, if that is equals to tools with points. Before even that, probably somewhere here Write logic for hit testing. Hit testing means whenever you click, you have to check whether a particular image has been selected or not, or ultimately that pointer is under that image or not, or just something like that, or shape or not. So what are we gonna be doing right now? That even we have the logic. Earlier I wrote the logic, so let me even get it from there. That would be better instead of rewriting everything. So I'll explain anyway exactly what that is. So the last time that the project that I created, that was which one? This was the app, I think, probably drawing board. Just a minute, give me a second. This is the project that I created 5 months back, but even at that time I could not really create all the features, because of course I then stopped working on this. I was just quite satisfied with the result. Coming back to this one, so if I go to drawing board, and over here we have is this the one? Not really, this is not the one. This is the one created by AI. Yeah, this is the one created by AI. So not this one actually. So probably this was not this. Same names are there, it's confusing, but okay, never mind. Probably this is the one that I made. So at the end of the day, whenever we pointer down happens, so convert.tsx, it will definitely have the draw and game.ts over here, and whenever pointer down happens over here, then what am I doing? Render shape, forget about this. Get socket messages, init point handlers, destroy, pointer up, pointer down. This is where we have to just focus. So whenever pointer down happens, so at that time, if that is equals to pencil, then of course we have to draw the pencil. If that is select, so we have to select, and that is where we have to run this hit test, as simple as that. And if that's okay, coming back to this, our main logic, main program, we have this for free draw, we have for text, we have for pen, and for all these we've already written the logic. But before even all these things, what I have to do, that or probably I need to have a logic here. Yeah, so the first one is gonna be select. So let's make it else if, and if tools with the points include this, then only I'm gonna be having this. That's fine as well. Over here I'll have one more if, and that's gonna be if selected tool, and that's triple equals to select. In that case I'll actually be doing something here. What's that's gonna be, we'll see. But if that is equals to select, that simply means if this select is selected, and if I click somewhere at that time, suppose I drew this, okay, I drew this and I clicked somewhere and this select is selected, that's by default. So hit testing should happen. What is the hit testing? We'll see. So I hope I'll find a better name for this. So what are we doing earlier here? So as soon as I clicked somewhere, of course I'm just looping through all the existing shapes. Once I'm just simply looping through existing shapes, we already have the current coordinates x and y. On the basis of that thing, we are just simply testing whether that something got clicked or not. On the basis of that thing, we'll have the selected ID. Once we have the selected ID, we'll get the selected position using the selected ID. After that, once we got that, we'll even get the coordinates of the selected ID. So what is this? Drag offset. Okay, this is the drag offset. No, x shape by. I'm not getting this. We got the shapes position, and this shapes position is gonna be on canvas, that is for sure. And get shapes position is just simply shape.type, shape.data. Yeah, it just simply returns me the shapes position, and the shapes position that I actually get, that is relative to, I mean, that is on the canvas, right? So this is gonna be the canvas position or something, or point. And once we have this drag offset, and we are getting x, that is on the screen. So x minus shape x, so ultimately it tells me the difference. That makes sense. So this is the drag offset. This is not quite needed here, but yeah, this is nothing but the offset, exactly how far is that and all. And again, there are a lot of bugs in this particular one, so let's not worry about that. And then at the end of the day, we are just simply highlighting the shape, whichever shape got selected. The main logic is this: hit test. If I actually show you that, a point in pencil, we have point distance to line segments. Let's not worry about that. And this is how it just simply goes on. Get shape position. Alrighty. I hope I'm not facing the network issue. Yeah, I'm not. Similarly, this is the one of the ways. So again, we can definitely again copy and paste the stuff and it will work. Of course, we'll have to customize the code as per our need, but this way we can just simply go ahead, that creating a function and then just simply getting the job done. Apart from this particular thing, this is not it. I have few more examples, like this Excalidraw example. This particular clone I actually got from GitHub. So I was just simply, I searched the Excalidraw clone online, and then luckily I got this GitHub, and then I cloned this, and then I ran this. Anyway, let's see how this person has used the same thing. If you understand, once you understand how it's implemented, you can just understand anybody's code. Anyway, if you want to hit test, you will have to check out mouse down event, right? So let's go to the mouse down event here, and let's see how he's handling this stuff. And whichever way we think is better, we will just simply go with that. As soon as he does this event.prevent default and all, handle mouse event and this, that's fine. These are the handlers it has. So if that is select, so what is it is he doing? If that is selected, so he is getting the coordinates, and after that get a element position at. He has sort of the same thing. What is he actually doing? That he has the client X and client Y, current elements, like all the elements it has, and it has the context. It is just simply passing everything to this, and this particular function is mainly responsible for telling the element that got clicked, if it got clicked, and the position, exactly what was the position of that. Okay, let's click on this. Wait for a while, and if we actually come back here, so we have another function. We are looping through the whole array. We have another function is within the element. In our case, we had is clicked or something. Is what we had something. Okay, never mind. Is within. We are passing this, and this function will tell me that the point that I have. What are the points? The points are x and y. They are on that element or not. And if the position status is not equals to outside, that simply means if that is not outside, means that is either inside or that is on the boundary. So hence we are returning both, and at the end of the day we are returning this. Pretty simple. I mean, it does make sense, right? Okay, one more thing I remembered, I forgot to implement this erase element feature. This can only be implemented when I'm actually able to select the shapes. So let's not worry about this, we will implement it later. So it's pretty simple, and if I actually click on this, so it just simply gets everything. And once it gets everything, so it even has the tolerance is gonna be 10, that is fine. And point to segment distance, it just simply gets the segment distance. And this is the what is this called? This is called forgot the name. It's what am I doing over here? I'm just simply I forgot the name. In simple words, if x1 is greater than x2, that simply means starting point is greater than end point. At that time I will just simply I will do something. If x1 is greater than x2, x1 is the start point here, right? The start point, and x2 is the end point. As simple as that. Now if start point is greater than x2, that simply means I started drawing this is the start point. Now I started drawing like this. So what will happen? This was the start point and this is the end point. And what is happening? The start point is greater than the end point. So whenever we try to get the distance, that distance is gonna be in the negative, and that is why we are sort of exchanging their place, exchanging their values. So x1 will have x2 value, x2 will have x1 value. That's the only thing we are doing. Why we are doing? So that, I mean, starting point is always the higher value, so that when we say, sorry, end point is always the higher value, so that whenever we say x2 minus x1, when we want to guess the distance, so we'll say x2 minus x1, as simple as that. If we want to get the distance between 2 points, at that time we want them to be positive, hence we are doing it like this, as simple as that. And then point to segment distance, this just simply tells me the distance, line, arrow. So when it comes to line, when it comes to arrow, so you can directly check whether something lies there or not, on them or not. So what you are actually doing, let's talk about this thing. If that is a line or that is an arrow, so we are passing the x and y coordinates. They are the current coordinates wherever I clicked. Element x1, y1, x2, y2, these are the elements coordinates. And now we have to check these points, these 2 points, whether they are on this particular shape or not. So what we are doing for that, and especially when that is a shape, when that is a line, that interesting thing is gonna happen from here. What we are doing, we are just simply getting the distance. So let's draw it. I love this thing because I understood it earlier, so it's gonna be easy to just simply get the things done. So ultimately what we are doing, that bro, we have this we have this line, okay, we have come on, we have this particular line, or just suppose any line, that doesn't really matter. This is the line that we have, okay. As we have this particular line, now suppose somewhere I clicked, suppose this is the point I clicked. Now I have to check whether this is the point, this point is on the line or outside ground. So this is what our main logic is gonna be doing. And what we are doing to check this particular thing, pretty simple. First of all, we are checking the distance x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. That's pretty simple, this one. So the line that we have, we are checking the distance of the line, and once we have the distance of the line, so we are just simply getting the squared value of them. And once we got the squared value, math.hypot, this simply gives us the, what is that called, distance between 2 points. So yeah, it mainly gives the distance between 2 points. So if you just simply give it the value px minus x1 and py minus y1, and px is nothing but the current point at the end of the day wherever you clicked, so just simply gives the distance. And now what you are doing, if the distance, but it's checking only for one, for what, if the length is square, okay, if the length is actually 0, that simply means the length of the line is actually 0. At that time it just simply checks the distance of the current point and that x1 starting point. If there is any length, then that is great, that is returned. If there is no length, then that's nothing to do, as simple as that. So it just simply tells the distance between this point where I clicked and the point where the starting point was. I'm taking the starting point here because at the end of the day, the length between x1 and y1 and x2 and y2, that's 0, that is why. And apart from this particular thing, once that particular thing is actually done, so over here what we are doing, that we are saying px x1, and why am I doing this, px x1, we are just simply getting the minimum value. Am I not making it complicated? Px x1 this. Let's do one thing, let's start writing the logic. As for this one, this can definitely be simplified, there can be a simplified version for sure, so we will be going with that. Px x1, yeah, it's better to just make it simplified, otherwise I'll myself keep getting confused unless it's actually structured the right way. So just a minute, give me a sec. I did have a formula for that, I was just simply looking at that. Coming back to this one, let's just simply start implementing it instead of just simply looking at the rules and all. So what am I actually gonna do? And over here, this is my main logic. So what was the logic here? I'm gonna just simply do the same. Not even this one. get element at position. Yeah, that's a better name anyway. So at the end of the day, we are gonna be getting the element at that position, and once we get that particular element, once we get the particular at that particular position, then after that we have to do something or the other. We'll see what exactly we do. Ultimately, const, we have to get the selected element. So get or selected shape, just like this. Now what's gonna be that selected shape? That's what we have to figure out. So let's do one thing. Now the question is, where am I going to have this logic? Get that should be inside shapes only, right? Okay, get shape at position. And what is the position? Position is actually start point. So we are gonna be just simply passing start point. And apart from this particular thing, what else do we need to pass? We have to pass all the elements. That simply we have to just simply pass all the shapes, and that is it. I think this much should be enough. Now the question is, where am I gonna keep it? So when it comes to doing something related to a shape, let me take the help of AI. Where to keep this particular function here? Where should I keep this function? I mean, doesn't matter where you keep, it will always work, because the function is a function, but it's good to just simply keep it at the right place. Just a sec. Hopefully it will think and give me the right. Come on here, how long will it take? Get shape is typically canvas domain logic, not a React UI concern. That is right. So canvas geometry, hit test, bounce and distance. Makes sense. So anything that is related to geometry we'll be having it here. Not bad actually. I mean, this makes sense. So whatever that's related to geometry, we'll have everything just right here. Let's create that thing here. So inside canvas we'll have geometry, and that is why we should take the help of AI. It gives us really good ideas. Coming back to this one, inside this I will have get a shape at position. Get a shape at, but just a minute. So canvas geometry, hit test, and from there I should be just simply exporting it. So I'll just simply have hit test dot ts, just like this, and I'm gonna be exporting export const get shape at position, and of course I'm gonna be getting some props here, and then I have to just simply calculate it. Now the shape can be of many types as well. So ultimately we are passing the points, we are passing the shape. The shape will definitely have its own type, so we do not really need to worry about that. Coming back to this, what all we are passing the shapes, start point and the shapes, and that should be more than enough. Let's simply get it here, and let's do one thing, and that makes sense. Coming back to this one, I'm actually gonna be accepting start point, that's gonna be actually point, and I'm gonna accept what shapes, that's actually gonna be array of shapes. Now where is this type gonna come from? Just like this, that's fine. So we have a start point, we have this. Now we have to just simply calculate. So fine, what do we have to do next? That is shapes dot for each. We are gonna be getting shape from here. Alrighty, once we got the shape, so we have to create another function over here. That's just simply gonna check a what should be the next one. Ultimately is on the shape, or just a sec. If it actually hits the shape, then what do I have to do? Const selected shape, and that selected shape is gonna be get shape at position. I'm getting confused. I have passed all the shapes. I have passed the starting point. Now what I have to do, I'm gonna be getting shapes one by one, and I have to check whether this is simply that shape is selected or not, right? And this should be get a shapes at both. No, there can be only one shape at a time. That is sort of right. Whenever we move, then we are gonna be getting many. So this makes sense. Selected a shape, and that's gonna be get a shape, and probably I need to pass a start point. I need to find better names for this. I know this name is not good, so this one. So at the end of the day, we'll have to get shape. But what could be the better name for it? With testing logic, looking for a better name. What did I name here? Canvas. We had a point down. Get text dimensions. Handle click. I'm lost. Game.tsx. So hit test just simply hit test. It will just simply give me the is shape, or it can be is a point on the shape, or is point at shape, is a point at shape. This can also be. So this can be another name, but we'd better look for better names. Just a sec. So coming back to this, what's the name over here? Get element as position. After that we had is with the within element. Is within element. What am I naming here? Is point at shape. Is the point at shape. Okay, makes sense. This is not the worst name ever. Okay, let's go with this one. So we'll keep a start point here. We'll keep a shape here. I mean, this is gonna be the point, the thing. Then export const is a point at shape. We have to just simply check this thing out. We are gonna be getting a start point. Again, that's gonna be the type of point. We'll have shape. That's gonna be type of shape. And now the interesting stuff comes. What is that interesting stuff? Is the point at shape, that is fine, but we have different types of shapes. Now what is the next thing? Actually the shape that I have, that can be shape dot type, that can either be rectangle, or else if shape dot type, that can actually be after rectangle diamond comes to diamond. So ultimately that can have as many types as there are shapes or tools we have. So if we use else if, then that's gonna be problematic. So the another thing is that we can use, I mean, it's not gonna be problematic, it will just be a lot of code. And if we use a switch statement, then that is fine. But is there any another way that can be better? Is point at shape handler. Const is point at shape handler. How about this? And is on a rectangle is point at a rectangle. That's crazy. What am I doing here? Just a sec. Rectangle. So is let's have the point here as well. Is a point on rectangle the first one, or I don't know, God knows. Is a point on diamond, just like this. And these two things need to be imported from somewhere. So let's just simply hit test geometry. point on a shape. This should be somewhere here as well. So let's see. I'll export it later, but for now const is a point on a rectangle. That's gonna be sort of like this, and similarly I'm gonna have const is a point on diamond. Again, I'm not sure whether they are the right names, I mean they are good names or not, but if I go like this, then what will I be able to do? I'll be able to say that is a point at shape handler, and it will have the shape dot type, so it should actually be shape dot type, then rectangle, just like this. Then the second one should be diamond, just like this. So type, and that's actually gonna be a method. Yeah, then I'll be able to pass the start point, and I'll be able to pass shape. What have I done? With the help of the shapes point, I'm able to pass this particular logic to a specific and then this particular thing gonna return const is point at shape, and yeah, that's more than enough. Now the question is point at shape handler, what is the problem? Shape dot type has any type, and ultimately arrow does not exist on type rectangle, wide and all. That's fine, it can have even more types, so we'll work on this, but overall things should be right, shouldn't they? And we'll have a start point here, that's gonna be type of point, and we'll have shape, that's gonna be type of shape. So at the end of the day, the logic is at least not bad. I mean, this is good. Yeah, so similarly we'll have more. So when it comes to more, so we have diamond. After diamond we have circle is a point on circle. Now let me look for the good names. I'm not even sure whether the name that I'm going with that's actually a good one. Hit test distance to say point in line. Point at a rectangle, at diamond, at this is point at shape. Let me see which name is right. I mean which name is better. Is the point in shape versus is the point at shape versus is the point on shape. Which one is better? For a drawing application, is the point in shape is the most standard and clear name. So works for rectangle, circles, all these things is point in shape. Is point at shape, avoid this one, doesn't clearly communicate. Okay, let's rename the things well. Renaming really matters, especially when we are working with this stuff. So get point, get shape, add position. So this first one is right, get a shape at this particular position, but the second one is the point in shape, it should be. So is the point in shape, is the point in shape, and is the point in shape handler, that is this one, and is the point ultimately I can say point, it will just simply return the point. Yeah, point in rectangle, and then the second one is gonna be point in diamond, just like this, and they are just simply gonna be here like this, as simple as that. Then circle, point in circle, is not is simply point in circle, then we have ellipse, point in ellipse, then we have arrow, point in arrow, then we'll have, it will just simply keep going on and on, right? Point in arrow. Probably, I mean, yeah. After that, after arrow, what do we have? Text, point in text, and after text, what we have? We'll have to check this thing out. Oh, I can't even see it. Never mind. In that case, let's go with excalidraw.com. So we have this. We have pencil after arrow, line, and then the pencil. So arrow, after that we have free draw, point in free draw, just like this, and then we have text, and after text we have image. Interesting. So image, point, come on, in image. So this is how we'll have the things. Now the question is, yeah, makes sense, especially when it comes to arrow or free draw. Not arrow and line. Don't we have line here? We don't. Let's check this one. Line, point in line. So logic for arrow and line, they're sort of gonna be the same. Okay, never mind. We'll see. So this much we've done. After that, what do we have to do? We have to just simply create these functions. Copy paste. These functions are gonna be just like this here. Now this, these are gonna be the functions for this particular logic. So instead of using a switch statement, I just thought of using this. Now whether this is a better approach or not, it actually depends. What the hell? Alrighty, here we are. So what do we have to do next? Overall things are fine. Here we'll get just simply the point is point in shape, or point in shape. So we are just simply gonna be getting that particular point in that particular shape. As simple as that. And once we have this, that we got the selected shape. So is a point in shape. So ultimately I'm gonna be getting the, not this is point in shape, rather it should be point in shape. I'm just simply gonna be getting the whole point. So point in shape, and the name should actually be like this. So point in shape, it will just simply return me the shape, and probably CLG clicked shape, and that's gonna be equivalent to selected shape. That's it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's go ahead. What is the next thing? First of all, am I using this? Definitely it is being used, and it is being used inside the what? The point when I click on the mouse, that simply means use drawing, and over here we are using this. So get shape at position this, so we are gonna be getting selected shape. Once we got the selected shape, let's log the value here. Selected shape, that's actually gonna be equals to selected shape. That's simple. And I'm just simply gonna be removing this particular part from here. Okay, that's fine. And I'm actually gonna just simply return selected shape from here. So this thing is done. And even this return point in shape, point in shape is actually gonna be returned from here. and that is it. I can even just directly return, so we do not need to even do this much. Rather we can just simply say that bro return. So we are gonna be returning. Are you sure in this particular case? Not sure in this particular case. Even returning is something that is unsure. Why? Because here I'll have to check if I actually got the selected shape. Only in that particular case I have to return from, sorry, if I actually got that, I have to return selected shape. Selected shape is actually gonna be type pointed return. This is expression of type void cannot be tested for truthiness. Okay, no suggestions at all in that case. Missing something. Okay, we'll see, we'll fix it later. Right now let it be. Definitely we need to fix it as we start working on this, but at the end it should have the type somehow, but it does not have that. So selected shape will be returned, right? So ultimately I can say shape is gonna be the return point from here, and point is pointing shape. Okay, pointing shape, and then pointing shape, and pointing shape handler, point in shape handler, that's gonna be pointing shape handler. And at the end of the day they are gonna return what? They are gonna return shape, all of them. As simple as that. What is the problem? Okay, they must return a value. We will be doing that. How about this? Well, this is fine, but we'd better remove this null from here, because they're definitely gonna be that can actually return null, so that's fine. Yeah, that can return null, so this is not really bad anyway. Coming back to this one, it can return a shape or null once it comes to this. So point in shape I want to know, and just simply returns the point. That okay, makes sense. And I'm just simply gonna be returning it from here. Point in shape handler, and that's with the help of the type. I'm just simply gonna be getting that and just simply passing it. Once that is done, then I'm just simply gonna be getting the point. Now if I just simply uncomment, this is gonna be right. So at the end of the day, if any, what if any image that's gonna be at the top, so we have to probably check it in reverse order. Yeah, this shape section needs to be checked in reverse order. Why? Because we have to check the last shape first. I think the same thing I must be doing here. So I'm not sure, but the same thing needs to be done anyhow. We need to check from the last. Come on. Am I doing the same thing here? handle mouse down, select, and if get a element as position this, so after that we are element of elements, we are just simply looping through those elements. Position is status if not outside, so ultimately I'm just simply getting this. It doesn't really matter if that is selected, so selected, whether that is inside, outside, or what is within element. We are looping through it directly anyway, and this thing is okay. In my case, the last time when I implemented this, I actually looped through it in the reverse order. So yeah, because we wanted to select the last one first, so this way we looped through it. And talking about this one that AI gave us, handle mouse down, check if clicking on an existing image hit tester. So object.current find object will say get, and is the point in object, we are just simply passing this, and screen position, and this. If I come here, so what are we actually doing, that we have the get bounding box, in bounding box we'll have to even check. So just a minute, get bounding box, using the object we are gonna be getting the bounding box, and now we have to check the coordinates whether they are in the bounding box or not. And at the end of the day, bounding box are gonna be the ones determining the stuff. That is right. So for circle, additional distance checker for accuracy, if that is a type of circle and center is this, radius is not defined, screen to center this, point square root object radius, distance is less than this, in bounds. It is only for the circle specifically, and apart from this particular thing, in bounds is just simply return. It can either be true or be false. So based on this in bounds, let me see one thing. If I draw a circle here, it doesn't work, right? So in bounds is this. So if you check, it goes away. So image should be selected only when we click on the image, not outside, probably not even inside. Yeah, we may select it when we are clicking on inside. So now what are we supposed to be doing? This is the bounding box, but we don't have to calculate using the bounding box, hence we have to calculate it directly on the shape. That is it. And tall, this network is gonna be crazy. Alright, it seems to be fine. Coming back to this, we have to just simply check whether a point is in rectangle or not, and it's gonna be pretty simple, especially for rectangle. Why? The thing is that we have a start point, that simply means it contains x and y. Does it contain x and y? It does. We have the shape. The shape itself contains starting point and all. So this is not gonna be just a shape. We will be getting any shape here, or is that so? We are gonna be getting any shape. We are already saying that it is being sent based on the type. So at the end of the day, this is actually gonna be, I mean both, come on, yeah, rectangle shape, just like this. Now this is going to be what? Diamond shape. Of course I don't have to while here. Can't I import it? The spelling is wrong, bro. It is up. Shape. So what is the problem? We have the diamond shape here. Yeah, no problem as such. Coming back to this one, the next one is gonna be circle shape. This one is gonna be, of course I'll have to keep these functions somewhere separate, but for now that's fine. Ellipse shape, and we have arrow shape. We have to just simply write the logic so that it returns me the shape if that is selected, that is it, or it's gonna return null. Line shape, free draw shape, text shape, image shape. As simple as that. Let's start from the top. If there's an array, how are we gonna be checking this? Const is point in a rectangle, just like this. Now we can return actually two things, or even this much is fine. Is point in rectangle, that makes sense. So if const, we have x, we have y, and that's gonna be coming from a start point. Let's do one thing. And const, we have shape. We have what? X, y, and width, height. That's insane. So we have to have a logic for that. So I better go with both, or I'm gonna just simply copy paste the formula and then make you understand exactly what it does. Both the ways are here. But ultimately what's gonna happen, that if just a sec, it's gonna be true when x, the point that I have, or start point, let's name it ixy, const end, it should be x should be, this is the first thing, and y should be greater than or equals to what? It should be greater than or equals to shape dot y, and x should be less than or equals to, it can be equals to, right? So that's gonna be the x plus, not x, shape dot x plus shape. It's gonna be like quite insane. Next time onwards I'm just simply gonna copy and paste, and I'll make you understand exactly what it does, but let me write this thing on my own. So shape dot x plus shape dot width, and y is gonna be less than or equals to shape dot y plus shape dot height. Try to understand what I've written here. Plus there's gonna be some tolerance as well. So tolerance in the sense some extra. So constants, we have two. So we are gonna be having hit test here. Canvas, let's have it inside this only. inside canvas we have this export const or tolerance. That's gonna be around 10. I'm not sure whether this much tolerance is a lot or less, so we'll see that. So coming back to this, even we have to add the tolerance, so that simply means starting point here I'll have to subtract the tolerance, so tolerance just like this, and even in y I have to subtract it, so tolerance that needs to be subtracted. In this particular case I have to add it, so tolerance, and in this particular case I have to add it as well. Alrighty, this is the formula to just simply check. So if is the point in rectangle, in that case you just simply return is the point in rectangle. In that case you have to return the shape, otherwise you just simply return the. So this is the overall logic for checking whether the point is actually inside the rectangle or not. Alrighty, now let's see whether it works, and then the remaining ones I'm not gonna write on my own. It's gonna take a lot of time. Arrow is not assignable to type never. Shape, it's gonna return the shape. What does that mean? We have arrow shape here, we have line shape here, all types of shapes are here. So we are passing the we are actually getting the shape. Now that shape itself can be of any type, that is right. So we are simply passing the shape here again, shape dot type of this. Arrow, rectangle, diamond, ellipse, Excalidraw, image, line, this, that's fine. So point in it wasn't problematic. Argument of type shape is not assignable to parameter never. Rectangle, diamond, circle was reduced to never because property type has conflicting types in some constituents. That's right. So shape dot type in that case, any solution here? Point in rectangle, they are the ones here. Or I'll have to say that they just simply get the shape, probably like this. Now when it comes to shape can be of any type. That's gonna be problematic. So when it comes to rectangle, so they should only get the rectangle shape though. This should be fine. I'll have to go with this. So the problem is here. How can I resolve this? I did the same earlier, right? When I was doing what? When I was drawing. At that time I did the same thing. So use join. Not here actually. Canvas size, not this one either. So what do we have to do? Just a sec. Whenever pointer starts moving, at that time we get update drawing points. This is not what I want. I did not do this earlier anyway. So when it comes to render preview shape, so we just simply go here, and rectangle has that rectangle type only, and this is not problematic because we are first of all checking the type, then we are sending the shape. What we are doing here, that we are actually checking the type anyway, and then we are sending the shape. So what's the difference? The same thing I'm doing here. The problem is not here for each shape. So when it comes to shape can actually be of any type here. That is that is of any type. So I'm checking the type. Once check the type, I'm just simply passing it here. So if the same thing works here, why doesn't it work here? Arrow shape is not assignable to type. Never. Never. Shape dot type. Over there we are sending the shape. Let me try this thing as well. I'm not sure whether this is gonna be fine or not. Let me comment this for now. Let me comment this section as well. And what am I gonna do? That copy this switch statement and paste this switch statement here. At the end we have to pass what? Is a point on rectangle, point in rectangle, it takes what? Start point, it takes what? Shape. Let's try this thing out. Line is gonna be here, fade y is gonna be here, draw text is gonna be here, draw image is gonna be here, and diamond, circle, that's gonna be ellipse. Here specifically I'm checking the type, hence it's not gonna throw the error. That's crazy. Line, free draw, text, and that's gonna be image. Here we are. The thing is that it's not throwing the error here, probably. Let's see. Okay, this makes sense. So alright, it doesn't throw the error here, mainly because I'm specifically checking the type and only then I'm sending that. In here I wasn't checking the type, rather I was based on the type, I was selecting this and just simply sending, and that was the main region. Okay, let's just skip this anyway. This one is better. At least this one doesn't throw the error. What is the default case? Default case, default switch case in JS. That's sort of like this. Yeah, that's fine. Now I do not really have a lot of time to write the logic for all. As for this inbounds, we do not really need to select it based on inbounds, rather we have to click on the shape to select that. After that, using inbounds, I can zoom in and zoom out. That's another case. So I think that is how it should go, but let's see. Done. This seems to be done as well. If there is selected shape, then the shape is gonna be returned. Otherwise this loop will keep going on, right? Oh wow. So if there's any selected shape, it will be returned with that particular selected shape, otherwise it will return null. So it will also return either a shape or null. This is how it's going to be going on. Hence close everything. It's too much. Do I still have errors here? What are they? Errors. Yeah, this one. Probably I wrote it by mistake. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, coming back to canvas.ts, not even canvas.tsx. Let's go to that particular hook. So that hook was use drawing and use canvas drawing ultimately. And over here, when pointer down happened at that time, I got the selected shape, and then I'm just simply logging that. Now it's time to check for the rectangle. Okay, let's see. Selected shape is null. Give the rectangle. Clicked on this. Selected shape is still null. Why is that so? Isn't my logic running well? That's crazy. Okay, point in the shape. The point that I actually got, point in shape, just simply looping through that. I have all the shapes. Passing start point in the shape. If I got the selected shape, in that case I'm going to be returning it. Otherwise I'll just simply return null. Coming back to this one, this is nothing but a switch statement. So if that's the type is equals to this rectangle, so it comes here. So first of all, CLG. What? CLG? It doesn't support console or what? Console.log checking point in rectangle. Shape selected. Now if I this is insane. At least that particular what? It's just simply loading. What is up, bro? Everything's fine, right? Let's simply stop it. अरे क्या दिक्कत है बंदे? Meanwhile, I'm just simply gonna copy paste some of the things really quickly. Now it's enough. I'll make you understand exactly how it works and all. Oi, my PC is gone. भाई रुक जा. It's stuck. Why is that so? Let's wait. What else? My PC is stuck right now. Congratulations. I don't know for what reason. I left. Okay, yeah. What the hell? The VS Code crashed. This by the way, it will definitely look fine right now. This is it looks like without any CSS and all. Things seem to be fine. Okay, let's do one thing. So we were working on which one? We were working on this one. Don't know for what reason it actually crashed, but it crashed CD, apps, and we have to make it quick, otherwise it will take the whole day. One day. If we are able to understand the logic, we will not need to worry about it. Anyway, this was the first one, but for some reason even it is not working. We have the tolerance save.ex, that is fine, it seems to be alright. This should be working. It just simply keeps getting disconnected. Anyway, it should be compiling. Well, it's not really compiling, let's not worry about that. Coming back to this one, this is a point in a diamond. Let me spin up other ones as well. We had this drawing board. What kind of project is this? Well, this is like this, so probably this is the one made by the AI itself, and it turns out what this way only AI can write the code in the same file. Yeah, so this is written by AI, and apart from this particular thing, we have this draw app. Let's not worry about this. Drawing app, Excalidraw. So we have to just simply spin up both of them here, and it's 4:15. Hopefully within an hour it's gonna be done. One more. This is the one made by me earlier, and here we are. Now what do we have to do? Oh, what is this? Come back to normal. Why are the VS codes? They are 4 VS code. Okay, it's back to normal. So as I have spinned up 4 VS code, so they are using RAM a lot. But okay, 13.3 GB, that's too much actually, but okay, never mind. Coming back to this, what do we have to do next? I was just simply waiting for it to be, yeah, it's done. Good to know that. Here it is. If I draw a rectangle, we got a rectangle. Now if I click on this, checking point in rectangle, wow, the shape is not being returned. That is fine, but checking point in rectangle, the question is why is the shape not being selected? Checking point in rectangle, if it actually comes here, so bro, what is the value of this CLG? It's not giving me suggestions for some reason. Console.log is a point in a rectangle. I should be able to at least type here. Rectangle, that's gonna be this point. It is not giving me any suggestions at all. Is point in rectangle, yeah. And if I am not wrong, so right now it has even become 14 point something RAM. Literally, what's making it use so much resource? Okay, this should be fine. Let's see. Never mind. The RAM is full, completely full. In that case, I have 4 instances because of this. So which one I don't need? I need all of them. Coming back to this. Let's try this thing out. True. So is a point in rectangle? That is true. That is false. False. True. 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 False. So it's working. So if it is true, then I should be returning the shape. So I am returning the shape. So congratulations, this part is right. And then after this, if this is right, then this is returning, then this is returning, then I should be getting here CLG. Bro, this is crazy. Console log selected shape, that's gonna be like this shape. It is not giving me suggestions at all for some reason. Yeah, I'm getting it here. So as I'm getting it here, so if selected shape does exist, so in that case it should be returned. That's problematic. Always null gets returned from here, that's the thing. So if this were a for loop, then it would have been fine. Return means only this gets returned, that's the thing. So how can I do it? Selected shape. So okay, that's fine. I'm gonna be getting the shape from here. That's actually gonna be selected shape, and once I get the shape from here, if the shape actually exists, they are the same. Yeah, what to name here? I'm just simply getting confused with the naming convention. Selected shape. If it does exist, so this is fine. Not this one. Yeah, what to name shape at point. Now this is better name. And at the end of the day, what am I gonna do? By default it will have null value, and then later if I am doing this, that's fine, and we're simply gonna be returning from here. Shape at point. Okay, this is fine. It should work now. Yeah, here got the shape. So this was selected, none, null. If I click on this, the shape is selected. So congratulations, one is done. Similarly, we have to write the logic for all, so that we can just check whether that particular shape is selected or not, and the job will be done. As simple as that. So it doesn't matter where we scroll. If we just simply click out, we are getting null. If we click on the selected shape, we are getting that. Now what am I gonna do? I will honestly explain everything, but I'm gonna do one thing. Even I'll simplify the logics. I know the logic is easy, so it's not that difficult. I will explain each and everything, but one thing I would do here, that is ask AI to write the logic at least. Yeah, I mean, how long will I just keep writing the logic for so many shapes? Write the logics, but I am gonna make changes if the logic is not understandable, because I'll make everything understandable. So if the logic is not understandable, so I'm gonna make it in my own way. So write the logics here we are. Assuming it did not understand, the result it is giving me, that's not as per my need. Okay, but let's do one thing. Give me all of them in together so that I can copy them. Let's go. I know there are gonna be errors here, so I'm gonna be fixing those errors, but that's gonna be great. You have pre-written logic. As long as you are understanding, as long as you are able to make changes in the logic written by AI, that's what matters most to me. Get positioned, drawing object. This is what I want. There's gonna be many things here, so we are gonna be fixing them. As expected, there are errors. That simply means the logic is not as per our need, so we'll have to make sure that that is correct. First of all, point lamp. Okay, this is the one. Point in rectangle. Let's take care of this one. So we have, is this the same? Is it inside? Then that's gonna be point x. If the point that we are getting, call it point, yeah, we can call it a start point. So that can be point. Yeah, wow, what a naming convention. Good ChatGPT. I was naming it start point. Such a fool I am, but never mind. Point dot x is greater than shape minus tolerance minus. So this logic is exactly the same, the way we wrote, plus point to us. Then point in diamond. So let's see, without even having a look at the logic, first of all see how we will actually calculate it, and then we'll see whether the code that AI gave us, that is right or not as per that expectation. Simple. So suppose this is the rectangle. So what I did in rectangle, I had point is nothing but x and y. Simple. So suppose I had this point and I had to check that this point is on the rectangle or not. So what I did, so this is the point x and y somewhere, suppose in the world, and this is the x1. We had x and y, they were the starting point, and we had width and we had height, what I did earlier, right? If you are actually worrying. And there is tolerance in the sense, not this here, tolerance means some extra. So suppose this is the rectangle, so this can be tolerance around that. So let me change the color of it. अरे भाई कलर चेंज करना था, मैं कर क्या रहा, कलर not bro, how can I change the color of this? Fine. Anyway, and let's come back to this. Let's go previously. Yeah, this is the one. The outer the outer one is actually the tolerance. Tolerance means if this is the line, this is the line, so it's not like only when you click on this line then I will say this is clicked. Even if you click a little top, just a little top or just a little bottom, that will also be acceptable. The same way what I'm saying, that tolerance I mentioned 10 here, so tolerance was equals to 10. That simply means this is the main rectangle, that is fine, but even if you click a little away from the rectangle, we will assume that yeah, you have clicked on the rectangle. So what was the formula? The formula that I wrote, that was the point x1, let's name it x1 y1 point somewhere in the world, or px py, and this is gonna be py, just like this. So how will we get? So if px is greater than or equals to x minus tolerance, so this was the logic, this is the first logic. So this is x, the px should be either greater than, that simply means if I have this px over here, now it's no use I'm explaining, but okay, this px can either be greater, because it's gonna be inside that, if that is inside, so either it can be greater than x, or it can be greater than y, if that were py. So if px will be greater than x, so that is why this is the logic. Py will be greater than y, then only it can be inside. Then it can be x plus width, so less than x plus width. So px can be less than width, because it can be greater than x, but it should be less than px plus width. Similarly, it can be py can be greater than y, but py should be less than y plus height. So it should be greater than these points, and the point should be less than these points. That's the only thing that we did back in our code. If you actually have a look over here, the code that we wrote here, where here, that exactly does the same, and we added the tolerance so that the more, even if you click a little away, that's acceptable. So that's what we did here. Coming back to this one, diamond. Now the question is how we can check in the diamond. So let's see how it's being actually checked. So we have shape x, shape width. So you have to click exactly on the diamond. That's right. So first of all, we are getting the center. So center of what? Diamond. Shape x. Shape dot width. So we had the x, we had width, we are getting the center point. That's simply understandable. I'll explain exactly what it does. We got the center point. Once we got the center point, after that we are getting the absolute value. So we are just simply subtracting this. So we got dx and we got dy. Once we got this, so after that the point and this, that makes sense. What is the use of this? We got point x and point y, and we are calculating the distance between the center x. Center x means that okay, we are calculating that, and once we calculated the distance, so shape dot width divided by tolerance plus tolerance. So whatever width I had, I'm dividing it by 2. So sort of I'm getting the come on, okay, dy, this inside shape null. Well, honestly, I did not understand this thing last time when I did that. Last time I didn't even make the diamond. So how can we write better logic for the diamond? Just a sec. Okay, let's try to think of this thing. How are we gonna be doing this? So suppose there is no diamond. That's crazy, yaar. At least diamond should be here. Let's now this is the diamond. Yeah, suppose this is the diamond, or it's better to just simply go with the Excalidraw. That's gonna be even better. So if this is the diamond, in our case, this is the one. Okay, so in the diamond, what we had in the diamond, we had x, we had y, we had height, and we had width. These are the things that we have. Okay. Now, if these are the values that we have, using that, of course, we drew the diamond, and that is good. So If this was the diamond, let me just simply select not this one, rectangle. This is the rectangle, and I'm just simply gonna draw the yeah. Even one more thing is here, that when you click in the middle, then the shape is not selected. So probably we'll have to work on this particular logic, that only when you click on the line, then only the shape is selected, otherwise not. The benefit of this is that you do not need to worry about overlapping, because if the shapes are overlapping, then that can be problematic. So you click, you check for exact click, but okay, this is something that can be done later. Okay, but this is also one of the things that we have to keep in mind, only when we click outside. That simply means bounce. Wow. The first logic that we had here, this one probably, it was taking not this one, this one. So it was doing what? Is the point handle mouse down, and when the mouse down happened, object dot current dot find index. So it just simply gets the object, and what is this? Check if clicking on an existing shape hit test. One more thing let me do. In here, if I try to make anything, okay, in this case it is just like this. It doesn't really matter, right? They just work in a different way. So now there are two shapes. If I select, so even our logic is right then in that case. Doesn't matter where you click on the image, that's just simply gonna be selected, and in that case we'll have to, and the new image is just on the top of the previous image. So that's what we have to keep in our mind. So if we are just writing some text over here, so now if we write on the, click on the come on, clicking is happening, bro. So now if I click on the text, only text will be selected, and this is how the things are actually going on. So the current logic is also good, and later we'll see if we need to go with that way as well or not. Okay, by the way, let's talk about this one. We have x, we have y, we have height and width. Okay, using this we were able to draw. How we were able to draw? This is the question is, with the help of these values, how we drew that, how we just simply made this diagram. Coming back to this, yeah, so we had x, we had y, we can even increase the size of this, and we had width and we had height, right? So we had width and we had height. Okay, now the question comes, how you can draw it. So drawing it is just like a line. So suppose you started drawing a line from here. So when it comes to A, so not this, you started drawing a line like this. So the line started from here, you drew the line here, then this, then this, then this. So ultimately what you have to do, you have to start drawing a line from here, then this, then this, then this, then this. So ultimately, if you know the coordinates, if you know the coordinates of this, the coordinates of this, the coordinates of this, and the coordinates of this, you can easily draw the lines, because lines just simply take the coordinates and they'll be automatically drawn, right? So let's see how we can calculate the coordinates. So let's work on the first one first of all. So coming back to this one, over here we have x, y, we have width. How we can get this coordinate over here? Pretty simple. We have width, right? Width is the full width over here. So if we divide width by 2, so width divided by 2, so we have the half width. Once we have the half width, if we just add half with it width to x, that's gonna be the first one. So what's gonna be the formula? I mean, it's pretty simple, right? X plus width divided by 2. This is the formula or the logic at this point. So y is gonna be the same. Y is gonna be y. Okay, so this is the first one. X plus width divided by 2. So the width is the full width. We are dividing, so we got the half width. We just added that half width to x. So we got this center x point. As for the y point is the same here as well as here. Only x changed. Let's see how we can calculate here. So over here, if you actually have a look, so y is changing and even x is also changing. So x was here, so x is here right now, y was here, so y is here right now. So both x and y are changing. So if I talk about x, x means what? X plus width is gonna be this much. So from here to I can here. So the value of x is gonna be x plus width, as simple as that. The value of y, that's gonna be I have this y value, so y plus height divided by 2. So this is how I'm gonna be getting it. So y plus height divided by 2. So this will give me the value of this coordinate. Let's talk about this one. I hope I'm right here. Y plus height divided by 2, it will give me, yeah, that's right. Let's talk about this one. So what is changing here? Over here, what is changing? Y is definitely changing, that is right, and x is also changing. So yeah, both are changing here. So when it comes to x, so x can be x plus width divided by 2. It was already what calculated here. And then y is gonna be, what is gonna be the value of y? Y is gonna be y plus height, as simple as that. So the value of the y plus the height, that's gonna be this one. And coming the last one over here, y is half, x is 0. So x will always be the x only. And when it comes to y, so y plus height divided by 2. Here we are. So the y is changing, x is not changing. So these are the formulas that we have. Whew. So x plus width, we had y plus height, x we had here, okay, and y plus height divided by 2, y plus height divided by 2, x plus width we have here. Yeah, so this is right. So this way we drew it. So this is the way if you want to actually draw it. Now the question comes, the same things I have. I just have a point somewhere. Suppose I have a point px and py somewhere in the world. The question comes, how can I calculate this? And this can be calculated only when we click on this, if that is either on or inside. So the first thing is that we have the width of it, right? We have the width of it, so I can actually get the center point. So center x is gonna be x plus width divided by 2, and center y is gonna be y plus height divided by 2. So these are the center points I got. Once I got the center points, what is the next thing that I want? What I actually did in the formula back in this one. So we got the center points. Yeah, that's pretty simple. After that, point and the center, we got the distance vector. Okay, so point x minus center y. So suppose I have point somewhere. Okay, once we got that, the distance between this, so if there's the point somewhere here, so we are just simply getting the distance. Suppose the point is here, so we are just simply trying, suppose the point is here, so we are trying to get the distance between the center and the particular point, as simple as that. Once that is done, then we are checking inside like this, and this is crazy. I'm just gonna ask you to simplify this if it can. Anyway, let me have a look at the logic of this. Even I do not understand JavaScript honestly. What is this? I have no idea. So let me ask ChatGPT and see what it does. What does this do? And what is this in JS? Whew. This operator means less than or equal to. Literally, that's the most insane thing ever. Okay, sorry. That's just an operator. I thought it has some special use here. Never mind. So dx divided by shape dot width center x, not center x, plus tolerance. So width, half of the width plus tolerance. This is going over my head. Anyway, until unless I understand this, I cannot really copy paste, right? I need to understand. So what could be better way to understand? Probably this particular one. So over here I would have the same logic, that is for sure. So let's do one thing. Where is rectangle? Here it is. Not rectangle. So we have the rectangle logic here. We need to go to the diamond one. Where is the diamond? Diamond, bro. Diamond. It hasn't drawn the diamond. Such a fate I have. I thought diamond was drawn here, but turns out diamond wasn't drawn here. Oh. Let me ask ChatGPT to simplify it so that it's easier for me to understand. Can you simplify the logic and explain what and why? Come on. The original code inside this looks scary because it's the mathematical equation of diamond. It is a mathematical equation. So for a rectangle is easy. Rectangle, yeah, it's easy. We have to just simply go with this. It's doing exactly the same thing. We even added the tolerance over there. Why does then that work for a diamond? Because diamond just a rotated square, that is right. So if we use the rectangle, we'll incorrectly select the points in the corners. That's right. So that's not gonna be right. The diamond doesn't fill the entire bounding box. So we need a better test. Think in terms of a distance from center. So yeah, that's all right. We got the distance. Now we compute the values. So we had the center 100. The point was 120. So 100 minus 20, that's 20 plus 10. That's the distance vector sort of we got. So meaning 20 pixel away horizontally, 10 pixel away vertically. Come on. What makes a point inside? For a diamond, wow. So if there is a point inside, the further you move horizontally, the less vertical distance is allowed. The further I move horizontally, the less vertical distance is allowed. That is right. So at center, you can move a lot vertically. Near the right edge, you can barely move vertically. That makes sense. That's the key idea. Horizontal distance plus vertical distance must stay within a limit. Right? Horizontal distance and vertical distance must stay within a limit. That's right. So simpler code. Half height, yeah, that's great. Half width is inside. So dx half width plus dy half width should be less than or equals to 1. Convert both distances into percentage and add them together. So we have this dx, we have half width, we have this px, and then we got the dx, the distance between this and this. Once we got the distance between this and this, and we know the width, so this distance divided by the width, half width, and then we are even adding them. Now I need to watch a video on mathematics, like seriously. Until unless I understand this, then that's not gonna make any sense. That simply means I need to go to YouTube, watch a video on diamond, not the diamond that you wear. Okay, coming back to this. Read as convert both distance. Okay, half width 50 half height 50, that is right. So dx was 10, yeah, that is right. So 10 by 50, that's, and 20 by 50, that's 0.5, 0.4. So this, so 0.6 less than that. It's inside. So this is actually a formula, bro. If you know how the formula works, the job will be done. So another example can be dx is 40, dy is 40. So both the distances are same. So 40, 50, 40, 50, 0.8, 0.2, 1.6, it's actually gonna be outside. Both are gonna be 40, 40. The distance that is more than the half width, that is right. Half width was 50. Half width was 50, right? And the dx is 40. What is the dx? The distance between the point and the center. Yeah. So since that's right, it's outside. Even simpler. Imagine every point gets a score. Score is gonna be horizontal uses plus vertical uses. Where score horizontal uses, vertical uses. So every point, how much horizontally it has used, how much vertically it has used. So horizontal uses is gonna be dx divided by half of width. Dx divided by half of width. What is the half of the width of the vector? And then dx. This is just a formula. And then if the score is less than this, then the point is inside the diamond. The point is outside the. Most editors don't even use this equation directly. A common approach is compute the diamond's corner points. Use a generic point in polygon function. I was trying to understand the first one, it gave me the another one. Great. The first one logic is this, that bro, what? Literally, just a minute. Here we are. What was that? Inside, right? So kind of, it sort of gets a score. So you have to get the score, and you have to get the dx. Dx is nothing but the distance. So distance of the point. So ultimately, if I want to make it simpler, so first of all, get the dx. So constant, forget about this constant. Dx is gonna be equals to px minus center x, and dy is gonna be equals to dy minus center y. This is the first thing. I hope that's the formula. How do we get dx dy? Dx dy, dx dy, dx dy. Okay. I mean dx dy, they are easy to just simply get. Even we are getting the absolute value, so that's gonna be fine. So I just had a look at that. Point x, center y, center x, that makes sense. Coming back to this one, and even you have to get the absolute value, so make sure that they are absolute. ABS. Okay, this is fine. Even you have to get the absolute value over here. So we get the dx and dy. Once we got the dx and dy, after that, what do we have to do? We have to make sure that start is gonna be score. Let's give it some score. That's gonna be dx bro divided by width divided by 2, right? Half of the width. So const half width, that's gonna be width divided by 2, half height, HEIGST, that's gonna be divided by 2, just like this. And now score is actually gonna be dx divided by half width plus divided by half height. And if score is less than or equals to 1, in that case inside, otherwise this is just ternary operator, ternary conditional statement, whatever that is. I mean ternary operator, not ternary operator, ternary conditional, and otherwise it's gonna be outside, just like this. And here we are. I mean this is how it just simply done. This is the overall formula. Anyway, I'll try to just have get the simplified version of this. Otherwise, I'll have to understand this math. Okay, what is the next thing? It gave me another thing at the end. So a common approach is compute the diamond's corner points. Use a generic point in polygon function. Diamond points. Top right, bottom left. A returning polygon. This scales better because later you can use the same function for diamond, triangles, stars, custom polygons without learning a different formula for every shape. Tell me one thing, that in here we can get triangle, right? Here it is. We can draw the triangle. Now, wow, I can support many things. Amazing, I'm happy. I can support many many shapes if I just understand how does this work. Point in polygon, so the shape can actually be, that's such an amazing thing. But to know that, I'll have to ask another question. How does this work? Explain each and every thing. This is how I work on Excalidraw app. Seriously, there are some things I have no idea about. Even if in future there are gonna be things, so I need to just learn on the go and then just simply build them. As for this one, it is just simply telling me the stuff and all. As for right now, I'm just simply gonna take a break. How long has it been? 4:55. It's been 2 hours around. I'm just simply gonna take a break. After that, I'll be back again. I have nothing but to just work on this, so I'll come back and work. Until then, bye bye. Take care. I'm gonna be catching up soon. Bye bye.